we shall not make the mistake that we try to extrapolate the past. We need to face the current environment and see how we improve there. And we have a demographic problem right now, especially in Europe, but basically all over the world except for India maybe and Africa and the Middle East. So, for instance, in the States, you have a population pyramid that's actually not so bad. But when you look at under the hood, then you have also regions that are quite old and regions that are quite young. And I would assume that this is also the reality in many countries and in many regions, that every region is very different, whether you're more on the urban side or suburban side, rural side. So the challenge is right now that we are growing older. There are many people who are retiring and not so many coming into the workforce. And this is also much more problem in Europe than in the States. So it's crazy basically. And this is happening right now. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was not such a big issue. But right now we have more people retiring than we have young people joining the workforce. And this means that we have to fight for employees, basically. And this will not change. So it will not change for the next 5 to 10 years. It's hard to predict the future, but it's easy to predict demographic changes. So you can foresee demographic changes for the next 10, 20, 30 years, and maybe even longer. So we know that we have an issue there. And of course, it's different in every situation. And there is one important lesson that I've learned myself in this. As mentioned before, I'm already longer than 30 years in the business. And back then we had also ads, and we tried to get employees with ads. And nowadays you do it with internet ads, say social media. You post on social media that you have a vacancy there. And what I realized about 15 years ago, that this doesn't really work. Why? Because it's not really credible. The issue is that when you have people talking to each other, say in this case, it's friends sharing something, then this is really credible. So if this would be a picture on the workplace and you share this on social media, that you have a very good team and good co-workers, then this is credible. Then this post in this case is probably 100 times more credible than when you make yourself an ad on social media or on Google search trying to fill a vacancy. And it's the same when you also talk on the bar or wherever in the private setting. What people say about the job and the own company is really, really credible. So if you have an employee of yours who is really proud to be in the company, who likes the job, and who says, I'm working in a very good company, I like it, I go there, and I'm looking forward to going to work in the company, then it makes a huge, huge difference, as opposed to I'm just there because I have not found something else and everything sucks. And I think that's the biggest lever. It's your own employees who spread the word in their vicinity, in their social sphere. And this makes a big difference whether they are pissed or whether they are proud. And when you have somebody who is proud of the work, it is a multiplier. And if somebody is pissed off, then it's also a multiplier. So the biggest lever that we have, from my point of view, are our own employees. And therefore, what I started to understand 15 years ago, plus minus, was that the message of an employee himself, herself, is 10, 20x more credible, maybe even 100x. There are no stats, but it's huge. And therefore, when you focus on your own employees, you have also less employee turnover and less problem in the first place. Therefore, focus on your team when you want to have more employees, the right employees for me. And we did then these kinds of workshops in all the big plants. So we had 3 big plants. And you can do this in plants with more than 70, 80, or 100 employees. And this was a workshop for a day where we took basically opinion leaders from the shop floor, and so no management, and it was anonymous. And they had a warm-up session like here, and then they started to collect what is good in the company. In this case, in this plant, they mentioned the parking is good, payment was punctual, vouchers, we've distributed vouchers every 4th month. We're family friendly, training, company parties, work schedule, responsibility, actually, that we delegate a responsibility to employees, similar objectives, teamwork, work atmosphere, communication, colleagues, almost no cultural problems, which was always already an achievement, because 5 or 10 years ago we had big cultural problems at this plant. And also readiness for help. This was were the good things, and yeah, we could stop the workshop there. And then we asked them for the problems, what is getting on their nerves. And so you see that most of these issues are actually not the issues that you would expect that employees would mention. They want to do a meaningful work, and when you want to do a meaningful work, then you want to have less problems. And they mentioned this and made also then suggestions on how to solve these. So I really encourage you to listen to your employees' needs and to act. And I myself, I had the benefit that I got a sensei, they call it in Japanese. Basically, it's a teacher. And so this is a Japanese teacher. I didn't get this one, I got this one. And in this case, Mr. Podinsky von Akon was a really great guide on how to structure lean management, and I also can recommend this company. And we made a roadmap, and we trained our top management, our team leads, and so on in the methods, and this made a huge difference. And of course, I can take you also along the way. Every staff turnover when it comes now to HR, so this webinar is about HR, it costs about, between 7,000 and 30,000 euros. And even if you just have a turnover at the shop floor, when you have a new employee, you have a good chance that you get the wrong one. This wrong employee will have an underperformance for a few weeks. Then even when you get the right one, it takes a few weeks and months until this person is really up to speed. So even at the shop floor, you have quite a high cost for turnover. And when it comes to other people like technicians and so on, then it's probably, can go into the 100,000s. then you have a new technician who fucks up a machine, and you need to work overtime because your plant has been down for a day. The cost savings is at least 5 to 10% of payroll, as mentioned before. The improvement also in productivity, and also healthy growth with satisfied customers. And the basic idea is that we do first a health check. Every company has a different situation, so that's first. That's not a big issue, but do a health check, and then implement quick wins, so that you get the first quick wins within a few weeks, and then develop a long-term perspective, work on the strategy, and empowering your team is, of course, a long-term project. You can have some fast and quick wins also with your team, of course, but developing the team completely, I would say, is a 3 to 5 years project. And when you have done your homework, then from a marketing point of view, and you have made up your perspective where you want to be in the future, then the basic idea is that you need to dominate your niche in your vicinity where you are, and so you dominate your niche. That's Next Level Laundry. That's the program that I'm doing right now, and we have a few on board in German, and we are starting in the next few weeks also in English. What we are doing is we are breaking down everything in small steps, and so these are monthly, weekly, small steps. There is a weekly Q&A, so you do not have to participate, but you can, of course. And obviously, these are quite good because people are attending all the time. And then there's also networking. We had also a success already there. Of course, the network is right now not the biggest one, but one person had an idea of a new machine that was very interesting, and the other member of the group had a look at this machine, and it helped. So and there's also questions like how to implement RFID and so on, and just put it into the forum, and we take it from there. And we provide checklists and templates and online courses and webinars. Yeah, so this is the idea. And if you are interested, there are 5 more seats currently available. We do not onboard a lot all the time. And therefore, if you're interested, then it's up to you to book a session. Yeah, this was the webinar. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you.